Hey guys, Cam from 15 back out with another video for you guys. Returning after all this time, Arifureta. I have obviously been slacking on my episode 3 reviews, but now we're back and hopefully I catch up. Now, the funny thing is I heard that season 3 currently right now is on a delay, which I don't know what's up with all these episodes, or all these animes that just get these delays. Like Don Machi got delayed, and then and that's not coming back till April now. Freaking Arifureta season 3 has gotten delayed, and I think they delayed it to like January 20th, right? So hopefully by then I will have officially caught up with the anime and things like that. But yes, but I watched like I think the first like 5 or 6, 7 episodes, and then I just stopped watching because I got too far behind, and I always tried to find time in my schedule to review the show. But we're gonna get into these episodes, review them, and I'll get them out as fast as possible. But let's continue where we last left off. So last episode, the big thing that came out of that was the fact that Hajime, basically got freaking Koki and the others to basically be pretend Power Rangers to break out Sheia's dad and save the rest of the members of the Halia tribe. So that was the big thing. Now, coming into this episode, Lilliana was basically here to negotiate the whole alliance of her country and then the Empire's country. So then there's no tension, no wars breaking out, and also to prepare for any other dangerous, countries coming after them and stuff like that. So she's 100% there. I'm trying to do the negotiations because that's what she said she was going to do initially. Now, basically, the Emperor is essentially, he's just kind of asking her all these questions, and he brings up the fact about Nagamo. And she basically is like, well, Nagamo's somebody you kind of don't want to mess with. His attitude is, well, it's not one of respect. And he's like, oh, really? And it only just intrigues him to meet, Hajime a lot more. And essentially the whole thing, he also does go on to mention to Liliana, it was about the breakout with the Halia tribe and the fact like there was these interesting characters that ended up breaking into the jail cells and breaking some of our prisoners out. And it was absolutely hilarious because as she's continuing to hear more of what the Emperor's telling her, in her head, she's like, "What the hell did you do, Hajime? Oh my goodness, it's even worse than I thought." Um, it's absolutely you can tell the princess clearly is sick of Hajime stuff, but we even see it later on, and even what I know in some of the later episodes, it's clear that they're setting up the princess to potentially be in Hajime's harem now. Look, I'll get to that in a second. Anyways, so she's like kind of freaking out, but at the same time, like putting on a straight face. That's when she brings up, she's like, well, I'm sucks and everything about all that. But I'm also here for the alliance thing to talk about the alliance and seeing what we can do to get that deal done, right? I just don't want our countries to be, you know, kind of butting heads at each other and then something serious happens. And even the Emperor agrees. He's like, yeah, I don't want to lose any more men or anything. So, yeah, but look, the terms of the arrangement, right? And that basically includes a political marriage. And essentially, Liliana, which we later get revealed that basically was set up by the Emperor and Liliana's father, that the Emperor's son would end up marrying Liliana in a political marriage to basically keep the relationship and probably form this relationship between the Emperor and then obviously Liliana's country, probably as a permanent like alliance type of thing. But she's basically kind of being forcefully married, probably to a guy that realistically she probably doesn't want to be married to. And we see what happens at the end of the episode of how far this dude was going. Anyways, so that's where that whole thing is. Now, Hajime ends up actually showing up in the Emperor's kingdom, and essentially what happens is he's walking through to try to meet, obviously, the Emperor. And Shea kind of has an encounter with one of the Emperor's guards, and the Emperor's guard's like, "Wait a damn minute! I know of you. You are you're part of that other group, right?" And he's like grabbing her by the chin. He's like, you're actually kind of nice. Listen. And he's even talking to Koki because Koki's obviously the hero of this world, right? And he's like, "Listen, hero, come over here and just give her up to me, and everything. We can have a little bit of fun." And it's clear it's clearly clear what this Emperor soldier was wanting to do with Shea. He was probably going to basically abuse her and R-word her because, you know, it's obviously one of the beastmen, and then two, like, he wants to probably use her as a slave, whether that's for, those type of purposes or, obviously working purposes. It's probably more of the first thing. Probably, yeah, he would probably get her to do work and stuff like that, but realistically, when that, well, sun goes down, what this dude would be trying to do with Shea, right? Um, Now Koki, he's just kind of like, he's just like, he looks like he's gonna say something, but he doesn't know if he should say something. But then Nagamo gets involved and he's like, "Hey, you might need to back off, you damn pig." And he basically calls him trash and scum, and he kind of gives him a threat of like, "Look, dude, if you want to freaking mess, then you can deal with me." And he basically backs off, right? So then that's when what happens is we have a meeting with Lilliana and the other characters before they ended up meeting the Emperor, right? So this this is what gets to the point of the whole fact of like, okay, it looks like they're gonna potentially set up an angle where Lilliana might be in Hajime's harem. Probably not now, but in the future of this show, because right now, like, obviously, with like the first two episodes, we've gotten this tease like um Shizuka is going to be the next girl that just randomly joins the harem. Like, I think by the end of at the end of this show, this dude's gonna have like multiple wives. He's gonna be like freaking Tengen, just with more wives. Like, and it's all, I'm like, even though also too later on, I know he like basically confesses to Shea, and he basically is like gonna be full in acceptance of her feelings and the fact that like realistically that's gonna be like his second wife to Yue. And I know that already because I did see that episode, right? It only makes sense, like, one by one these girls are going to join this harem, and one by one he's just going to tell them how much they mean so much to him, and he's going to basically one by one have them basically he's going to be engaged to each and every one of them. It only makes sense. Like, the end of this show, obviously Yui's going to be his number one, but he's going to have multiple wives. So by the time they go back to the real world, he's going to have all these girls with him. He's going to go back at home, and they're all going to be living together, and they're all going to be sharing Hajime. So this man could legitimately come back, and he could have, he can have like 8 or 9 wives by the time he comes back. Because remember, Miyu's mom is technically in the harem now, because basically he considers, Miyu as his daughter, so it only makes sense that his mom's gonna want in some of the action. If people keep forgetting, the teacher also has feelings for Hajime. That's been very clear that she romantically has feelings for him now. And clearly we're also seeing right now that Lilliana is having feelings, because right now she's getting all testy with Hajime. She's like, "Okay, you need to explain to me what the hell is going on. What did you do? Why did you make Koki and the others do all this stupid shit?" And it's funny because Hajime and Yue are playing with freaking Shea's ears and everything, and she's like, "You need," I'm like, "Hey, pay attention to me. You're not. I know you're not. I know you're listening to me. You're just trying to ignore me, right?" And Hanjime's like, "Calm down, princess. You don't need to shout at me. I can hear you right then and there. I can hear you as you were freaking quiet as a mouse." And she's getting all flustered and everything. She's just like wanting answers, like, "Bro, why are you here? What the hell is your purpose? And why did you do what you needed to do, right?" And basically, no, Hajime is just like, look, don't worry about it. We're gonna take care of everything. We're just here to make sure everything's good so we can meet the Emperor, and then we'll leave and we'll get out of your hair. There's nothing else to worry about. And she's like, nothing else to worry about? Oh, there's a lot that I need to worry about, and it's you. You need to understand going into this. You need to treat the freaking Emperor with respect, otherwise, we're all gonna die. And I'm just watching this, and I even remember when I first watched this episode. I'm like, bruh, I'm like, ain't no way this princess is going all out on Hajime if she don't like him like that, bruh. She's definitely, I think the freaking princess is catching some feelings about Hajime. Like, it's clear. And again, we'll go more in depth in the future coming episodes with that because they basically do imply that she does have feelings for Hajime, and she's trying to get his attention to get her to fall for him. But it's just not working, because he's not really into her yet, and she's not willing to be at that point where I'm gonna forgo being a princess so I can be with you, Hajime, right? So that's the thing too. And then also too, like I said, it's one of those things. And then the second thing is Yue giving the approval of like sharing Hajime, because that's the thing that happened with Shea later in the episode. She literally said, I'm okay with Shea and you doing all these lovey-dovey stuff with her, right? So that's the thing. Eventually she's gonna, I think Yue would give the A-OK to the princess. Like, she's cool with the princess. I don't think she would have no issues with the princess, right? Anyways, this then leads into Hajime meeting the Emperor, and at first it shocks everybody because Hajime is acting so respectful and everything. They're like, wait, what the hell is going on with Hajime? Like, why is he acting all respectful? But the Emperor obviously picks up on that. He's like, look, dude, I don't need you to be all nice and transparent and respectful to me. Be who you are. The princess has told me a lot about how, well, disrespectful you can be. So he basically starts like implying and getting him to be a little bit disrespectful to him. And also too, like he's got guards set up to like basically ambush them. And basically Hajime is like, if you want to try, you can try, but I'm assured that listen, you don't want any of this, because he started acting like, so I'm like, I heard you, but you're going through the great labyrinths and getting all these machines and these weaponry and everything to and these artifacts to help you like get stronger and everything. You wouldn't mind sharing that? And Hajime is just like, man, bump that. I'm not sharing nothing with you. I'm like, if you want them, you got to come and take them from me. Other than that, I know you don't want none of this action, so I know you don't want your like men's blood all over the table. So that's the whole thing. He basically made that threat. He's like, look, if you want to attack me, go right ahead. I'm pretty powerful. You don't want to fuck with me, right? And obviously, the Emperor's like, okay. All off, man. You don't need to go attack him. Because he already knows, like, okay, I probably should not F with this guy, right? So he basically comes up to the table. He's having a more up and personal talk. He's like, it's interesting about a man like you being so strong, but you have all these beauties around you, right? And he's like, look, which one are you going to give up with? Give me one, and I'll give you the most money for one of them. And Hajime, he's looking, and he's like, yeah, no, that's not happening. Sorry. And it's like he was literally about to say, like, sorry, and that's not going to happen because these people mean too much to me. They all mean too much to me. But then he stopped himself before saying that. He's like, wait, just a minute. Actually, you can have Tio over there. And Tio's just like, what? Why me? And everything. And Hachime's on the Emperor is like, just a warning, she can get quite crazy, so I don't know if you'll be able to handle that. And the Emperor, he kind of turns that whole thing down because he can easily tell us, like, yeah, she's not viable. No. Basically knowing, he basically, like, he implied, or he basically said, like, yeah, I'm not going to get involved in that because I don't have really, I really know what that would do. So, no. So, essentially, nobody wants Tio because she gets so fucking crazy and everything. So Tio is legitimately like off limits from anybody else. Nobody wants to mess with Tio because she's crazy. She's hot, but she's crazy. Anyways, he's like, well, it was a nice talk, I hope you're at the, I hope you show up at the party and I get to see you and things like that. And then he also talks to the princess and everything. And he kind of basically brings up the he obviously brings up the fact that the princess is getting married and the fact of their engagement and how it's going to how it's going to be what is it how it's going to be basically known to the public now, right? So he leaves. Now, essentially, this gets like Koki and the others in a situation, but mostly Koki. He's upset by this. He's like, wait, what did he say? You're getting engaged? And that's when the princess confirms. She's like, yeah, it was something set up by my father and the emperor, that at some point I would be engaged to obviously the emperor's son. And Kogi's just like sick of this shit. He's sick of this bullshit. We've seen it before. Like, we've seen Koki like legitimately like lose it. Like we saw in the first episode, like, about about basically the beastmen being basically abused and killed by the emperors of the empire and everything, and he wanted to do something about it. And Hajime is like, okay, if you want to go take it on, go take it on, but that's not my problem. I don't really need to handle that, right? And we have another situation where he's like, why would you do this? Why would you agree to this? And the princess, you can tell legitimately, and even when you go back to that first scene in the episode, you can tell she is not down with getting married to this guy. And we even see the guy even in the first bit of the episode, and and you can tell like, okay, this dude's just an absolute scumbag, right? And we even see later on the day of the part of the engagement night, right, how scumbag he is, right? And Koki's just like, why would you do this to yourself? Like, and Lilliana's like, it's okay, I'm gonna be fine. This is a way to unite our countries and everything, right? And Kogi's like, nah, F that. Like, why do you want to forcefully get married to somebody that you may not even love? Like, what's the freaking point? And obviously Hajime just gets up and he walks away and he's like, Hajime, you ain't got nothing to deal with this whole situation and everything. You ain't got no problems. And Hajime's like, look, dude, stuff like what she getting into, that's just the politics of this world. So in all due respect, we have nothing to say or do about that. This is really realistically none of our business. And albeit it was kind of a harsh response, he's not wrong. Like, that's just how the times operated back then, where it's like political marriages and stuff like that, right? And but the thing is, you can tell like, oh no, he's not happy with this, and he's got something up his sleeve. And it's really up until Shizuka, out of all people, that is like, Koki, calm down. It's gonna be okay. And Koki's just like, wait, what? And then that's when he like puts two and two together. He's like, mother effer. Liliana's the one kind of in the dark. She's like, wait, what? What are you talking about? What's going on? And it's kind of just like, oh, we know Hajime is going to do something about this, because he's not going to let, obviously, Liliana get married out to a sleazeball, right? And and even though like Hajime like plays those type of games, like he doesn't give a shit, it's clear he gives a shit. Like we saw it in the first episode, like he said like he didn't care about what was going on with the Halyas and how the fact that they were captured and everything. But then at the end, he basically tell Ashe like, look, what do you want me to do? Do you want me to go help you save them? Or do you want me to just do nothing and we can just continue on, right? It's up to you. And obviously that's when Shay is like, I want to go see if my family's okay. And Hajime's like, cool, we'll go do that. So to me, Hajime's always been that character where it's like, if it doesn't benefit him, he's not going to help anyway. But clearly, at the end of the day, even though he's even more of a grittier, like kind of ruder, meaner character since he once was when he first got reincarnated into this world or sent to this world, that Hajime from the very first season when obviously he was at his weakest, it's still in there. That type of Hajime is still in there, where he's going to fight for the people he cares about. And it's clear that he does care about Liliana, because he's known her throughout the first couple of seasons, and he doesn't want her to basically be in something that clearly he can tell she doesn't want to be a part of. So what ends up happening is it's the day of the engagement party. Um, and essentially what happens is Liliana is getting dressed for the occasion. She's wearing this nice dress and everything. And obviously her maids are like, "Oh, Princess Liliana, you look so beautiful," and everything. Anyways, the Emperor's son walks in and he's like, "All right, everybody get out right now." Everything, right? So basically, everybody leaves, even Liliana's guards end up leaving, and he kind of talks down about her guards, saying like they're pigs or whatever. Which is something about this, this empire. They're very disrespectful people, and I'm just like, you want to have an alliance with these dudes? I'm like, they're calling their own men pigs. Like, good God. And you probably get one of the more disgusting acts from a character in Arifureta, where basically this dude, he kind of like sexually assaults Liliana. Like, he grabs her boob or whatever, or breast, and he's like, "Huh, it's not what I would take, but it will do." I'm like, "Bruh, what?" And then he kind of forcefully, forces her down, and he talks about how, you know, who would have thunk? How are you gonna imagine this? On your engagement night, shit. Even before we get married and everything, you know, I'm about to take your virginity, and I'm just watching this. I'm like, bruh, can Hajime break in and shoot this clown? I'm like, good God, he's literally talking about like legitimately R-wording Liliana right then and there on the floor before they end up going out. He's talking about, "I'm gonna make you submit to my will, and you'll just break to the point. You'll just be a self-servient to me." And this dude's doing all this disgusting thing. He rips off her dress, the top part of her dress, like as if he's about to go all in, and he's about to like basically, again, like he said, take Liliana's virginity from her, like way before they're even supposed to get married, or way before they're actually married, right? Like, this dude had some like evil intentions. Like, clearly he was probably gonna use Liliana and just not even use her just as a wife that he would take care of. He'd probably just use her as um realistically a slave for his own personal reasons. And if you know what I mean, clearly what he was doing by forcing her on the ground, that type of reasoning. And then again, also too, I don't know how old she is, but then again, like in these medieval times, like you had freaking children who were like 16 years of age getting married to like basically people that were like in their 20s or if not 30s. So I don't know how old Liliana. I have to go check the wiki or whatever, how old she is at this time period. If you guys know how old she is at this point in time, please put it down in the comment section. She gotta be like 15 or 16 years of age. She has to be. Um, Unless she's weirdly enough younger than that, but I think she has to be like around the age of a teenager. I'm pushing it. Maybe she's 17 or 18. But that's the only thing. The only reason why I say she could be younger than how she looks is because she does look like your generic typical lolly character. Small, no, small boobs, blah 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 blah. You get that. But anyways, as it looks like this dude's about to forcefully like force his lips on her and probably start the whole process. There's this spider that comes down, hits him, and then he's like, "What the hell is that?" And it basically stabs these like poison points into his neck, and he's like, "What the hell?" He's like, "Why am I seeing and going dizzy?" And he just falls over and passes out, which I think he's actually dead. Well, I think they explain like he actually got killed because of the poison. And essentially Liliana's like, "What the heck happened?" And then she sees a spider, and she sees it's a mechanical spider. And then basically she knows it was Hajime that saved me. And she basically is like, she thanks Hajime for doing that. And then we just covered Hajime and the others. And basically Yue is like, "So, did it go good?" And Hajime is like, "Yeah, it went good, just as planned." And basically they're setting everything up to where they're gonna have the Hallyu tribe basically break and crash the party, and look to get revenge on the Emperor for everything he's done to them. And that's where the episode ends off, and that's what Hajime and his group are preparing for. Shay is full ready to do this, and it seems like we're getting a party crash here, so that's a good thing. So solid episode. I'm glad that guy died. I'm glad the dude died, because holy shit, like Listen, I love Lilliana. She's one of my favorite characters in Arifuerta. Her innocence needs to be pure. The only time she should be giving up, quote unquote, her virginity is to Hajime whenever they have full consent to doing that, right? Because you clearly you would think he's gonna do that stuff with all the other girls, but he saved her, and that's probably the moment when she started falling for him too. So. Anyways, solid episode as we're continuing our catch up with Arifuerta. But anyways, I'm going to get out of here, guys. If you guys like the video, leave a like, put in the comment section your thoughts, and hit the subscribe button if you want to get more Arifuerta content or any other anime content I upload to the channel. Till then, guys, stay safe out there and have a great rest of your day. Not in this video. Till then, guys, peace.